Namaste. Greetings for Mahatma Gandhi's 150th anniversary. Today, October 2, I'm here in the Gandhi Garden, New York. Imagine 1870, 150 years ago, when Mahatma Gandhi came in the inn. What we saw after that, that was the time when Louis Pasteur was coming up with the germ theory, and that theory actually finally confirmed what Dr. Semmelweis was saying. Today, when we say hand wash, that actually should be soap wash, and that actually came in 1830. But it took Louis Pasteur to confirm that by soap washing we can actually annihilate the virus, annihilate the coronavirus. And that was around the time when Mahatma Gandhi was born. That was around the time 1912 when we had the Spanish flu. That was around the time when he was young and he was going to the school. That was around the time when we had the World War. By the end of the World War, we had the Spanish flu or H1N1A influenza virus, which actually killed 5 million people in India. India at that time was a combined continent. It was colonized by the British. And what we now know as India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, Burma, Sri Lanka, Tibet, all of them, Afghanistan, all of these regions were actually part of a great India. And that was the time when the World War was taking place in the 1900, and as the Spanish flu broke out, that was around the time when the end of the war. It's a misnomer that it was the Spanish flu, because actually it started from United States. It started from Kansas. And when the World War soldiers started to go to Europe in the ships, the flu actually went to Europe and Spain, where the combined the forces were fighting, and with the soldiers, this spread to all over. But for some reason, it has been named the Spanish flu. And nobody actually knows about, at the time of when Mahatma Gandhi was in his early years, that was the time the population of India was around 25 crores. We are now around a billion and a quarter, which is around 130 crores. But that time, the India's population was around 25-30 crores. And 5 crore people died from the Indian subcontinent, meaning we had around 5 million people, which died from India. India's soldiers also were fighting in the World War, but all across India, we had 5 crore. Same things, some of the same things, which we were doing at that time. The face cover, any mask, any scarf, any gamcha, any bandana, anything, so this is very important, because today we have the news, the President of the United States of America has contracted coronavirus. So suddenly, this tool for protection, mass protection, which is the face cover, which is constantly being denied by the President of United States. However, the the Prime Minister of India actually, constantly demonstrate that this face cover, the gamcha which he wears, is the best protection. Gandhi, at that time, he went to college to study in England, and he studied bar at law. So he was actually one of the top law scholars of the nations. He had his suit, his tie, his everything. But very few people understand that Mahatma Gandhi was also one of the first NRIs, the non-resident Indian of India. So he's the father of India, he's the Bapu, he's the great soul, he's Mahatma, but he's also the first NRI. And after he completed his bar at law, when he became the barrister from England, from London, he actually became a lawyer and arbitrator for the trading companies of Gujarat, which were having trade and business with Africa, and they had their hub in South Africa, and that's where Mahatma Gandhi opened up his office. You can imagine the conditions over there in the 100 years ago. We are celebrating the 150th anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi today. But imagine 100 years ago when he was in South Africa, where he was there for 22 years, and he practiced, and that was the first time, when he came across what we now call the black people or the apartheid, and he started to fight against that. As a lawyer, he was practicing, as a lawyer. He was a professional. However, at the same time, we had a cholera outbreak. We had malaria, we had cholera, we had plague, and Gandhi and his team would actually go in the field and work with people in the plague, in the cholera, in the pandemic of his time. So that's why I'm making this connection, of what was going on 150 years ago and what is happening today, and why Gandhi is still relevant when it comes to Corona, when it comes to the war, when it comes to the peace, when it comes to the trading, when it comes to the economy, and what actually is significance of myself being here at this Gandhi Garden is I'm actually gonna start Mahatma Gandhi's salt march. This is it's kind of not easy for me to put everything in the words, but hope you will understand. And one of the key thing is some of these fundamentals, the protecting ourselves are easy. So what Gandhiji always taught us is self-sufficiency. The freedom from slavery is self-sufficiency. When we are not dependent on somebody else for our basic needs, that's the time we have the true freedom. So truth, freedom, liberty, self-sustenance are truly the sustainability. So Gandhi actually made everything himself. When he came to India, imagine if he would have remained in South Africa, South Africa would have got his freedom, and India probably might have been still struggling. So now we are enjoying the 70 years of independence as compared to South Africa and many African countries. We have the same situation today in United States of America. Last time I was at this Gandhi Garden, at the statue, I was doing a hunger fast. It started on Memorial Day, May 25th, and it went on for 27 days. However, that was the same day when a black man was murdered by the police, and then the Black Lives movement started. We had curfews, we have protests. So suddenly, this again, the time of Gandhi, the teachings of Gandhi, of non-violence, of protest, they all come together. So these are very, very relevant for the time of today. And again, why the British Empire colonized the world? That brutal colonization, that operation was actually had started from business, from trading. When the East India Company, there was a Dutch East India Company, there was a British East India Company, the French, the Portuguese, they all set all across the world various examples of brutality and apartheid and slavery. However, when they were in India, they came as traders, and then they just went around to take over the entire country. And the basis of that was economics. The industrial revolution which was going on in England, they were able to capture most of the continents, across the continents. However, Gandhi understood the economic or the commerce aspect of it. And the salt is something we all have. Now salt is natural, and what Gandhi did is he took salt march, which is also known as the Dandi March or the Dandi Satyagraha. This compulsion for truth. Satyagraha means the compulsion for truth. And what he did is he walked from his Sabarmati ashram near Ahmedabad on the banks of river, and then with around 78 of his disciples, he started to take a long walk to the ocean, to the our oceans are full of salt. Our world is full of water, full of sun, and full of salt. How can somebody tax it? How can somebody put a price on it? How can somebody put a penalty for having salt, trading salt? So that's exactly what Gandhiji demonstrated. He walked across the entire world, entire India's people started to join him, men, women, children, people from all walks of life. He went to the ocean and symbolically, he made the salt. Because, you take the seawater, you put it in the sun and you get the salt. So why there should be a foreign entity or a trading company or the Colgate Palm Olives or the Procter and Gamble's, on all of these multinational companies, which give us our own things. Just like this mask, just like the soap, so easily we can all make it in our kitchen. It could be the local home enterprise. And soap 100 kills the coronavirus. So if you do the saltwater gargles, you can reduce your viral load, not only for your infection but also for spread. So as soon as somebody starts to get a sore throat or sour tongue, that some kind of infection is coming. Whether that's a flu infection, whether that's even HIV/AIDS, the symptoms are similar. Your tonsil starts to fight. And saltwater gargles, simple saltwater gargles, simple scarf, simple soap, and all of these are 100% effective to reduce the virus load and to contain corona. And all of these elements can be locally produced. They are available in every house. They are free. They are universal. So, and those are the things which Mahatma Gandhi is trying to tell us. I call them the weapons of mass protection. So these scarf, this soap, this salt, I call them weapons of mass protection because I also want to come back to that context of United States of America, and the United Nations and the wars and the peace and the weapons of mass destruction, WMDs, which led to some other wars, and now the elections are coming. So that's why, like, I call my march, when I'm walking from here, from New York City, from this Gandhi Garden to Washington DC, to reach there on the election day, which is November 3rd. I'll be walking all across the towns and cities, talking at universities, talking at city halls, talking at town places, uniting states of Americas. That's what I name my Salt March. What I want to talk about is the pandemic, how we protect ourselves from the pandemic, the plastic, the pollution, how we bring the peace and prosperity on this planet. And these tools are very simple. So today, at the 150th anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, I'm starting, my Salt March. This is following the pandemic. I also, just like the pandemic, we have the pandemic of plastic and packaging and the garbage and the trash. And Gandhiji was his own scavenger. He will clean up his own toilets. So whether he was a big barrister in South Africa with suit and tie, he will still clean his own toilet. His children would hate him. The people around him will hate him because, he was such a big barrister, but the son has to clean his own toilet. Understand? If you had to do that, you will not be happy on your father. So there are a lot of people, who are not happy with Gandhi. Even, when he was cleaning the toilets, and all his life, he worked for the oppressed class or the untouchable, the people who were designated to deal with the trash, to deal with the garbage, to deal with the if I have to just use the word shit, or the defecation, the human excreta, which is very, very fundamental. Whether that's Prince Charles or Queen Elizabeth or Melinda Gates or Melania Trump, anybody, we eat and we poop. However, we have these entire systems created in which we are not able to deal with that, and our planet is actually now full of trash, shit, plastic, packaging, all kind of things, and we are getting buried under it, and we are destroying our own planet. So this is a constant pandemic, and what I say that just return this trash to the retailers, because when they come and they put it on the retail shelves, they go back empty. So they can take back all these plastics, they can take back all the packaging. And just like Gandhi said, that everyone need to be their own scavenger. So dealing with the trash, dealing with the plastics, dealing with the pandemic, some of these fundamentals, I want to articulate, I want to talk, I want to share with you as I go from time to places. So again, greetings to all of us on the Gandhi's 150th birth anniversary. And time to time I will have these walks and webinars. So walk with me and follow my blog, follow my links in which I better explain what are these weapons of mass protection, what are these WMPs, what are the ways we can self-help and protect ourselves, build back better. We cannot leave anybody behind. So please follow, and I'm very, very happy. I feel healthy, I feel great, and I know I have all your support. And please connect everyone, whether you are a corporation, whether you are an institution, whether you are an individual, so please join me, please join us. Let's, in a gentle way, we can change this world. I'm gonna show you a little inscription which is Mahatma Gandhi has put here. This is probably gonna look in reverse, so let me see if I can flip this camera. I guess not, but you know, I'm gonna read this inscription which inspires me. So Gandhi says, "My optimism rests on my belief in the infinite possibilities of the individual to develop non-violence, and in a gentle way we can change this world." Namaste, and signing off. See you all. Let's walk together. In a gentle way we can change this world.